Hi, this lesson is all about making sentences in the present simple tense. I'll show you how to make correct sentences and avoid mistakes in grammar and spelling. So let's begin. Welcome back to my series of lessons on the tenses. This is part 2 of the present simple tense. As always, if you have any questions at all, just let me know in the comments section below and I will talk to you there. Alright, in this lesson, we will first learn how to make positive or affirmative sentences in the present simple tense. I will teach you when to add s to a verb, such as he works, she wishes, etc. You will also learn the spelling rules for adding s to a verb. Then we'll look at how to make negative sentences, and finally, we will discuss the special case of the verb be. There are exercises throughout this lesson, and there's a final quiz at the end. Okay, so how do you make a sentence in the present simple? I'm sure you know the answer. You just take a subject like I, you, we, they, he, she, it, etc. and you add a verb. For example, I work. And you can add any other information to the sentence like I work as a teacher. You can do this with other verbs too. I play chess once a week. I eat 2 eggs for breakfast every day. I love my family. These are all present simple tense sentences, and if you remember from the previous lesson, the first sentence is a permanent situation. The second and third talk about things that I do regularly, habits or routines. And the last sentence is a state using the state verb love. These are the main uses of the present simple tense. Now, of course, it's easy to make these sentences with I as the subject. What about other subjects? Well, let's take the verb work and try out some other subjects. You work. We work. They work. What about those men? Those men work. My friends work. These subjects are just like I. But what happens when we have he as the subject? He works. She works. It works. That man works. Susie works. So you can see here that if the subject is I, you, we, they, or any plural noun, such as those men or my friends, then you use the verb in the base form without s. But if the subject is he, she, it, or any singular noun, like that man or Susie, or any other name, then you take the base form of the verb and you add s. It's important to know that this s is only used in the present tense. It's not used in the past or future, only in the present. Okay, let's now do a small exercise with this. There are 9 sentences on the screen. I want you to choose the correct form of the verb in each sentence. Pause the video now if you want. Think about your answers. Then play the video again and check. All right, let's look at the answers. Number 1, he reads a lot of books. Number 2, many children play baseball. Number 3, you like tomato soup. Number 4, that bird flies fast. Number 5, I teach English. Number 6, we live together. Number 7, she goes to college. Number 8, it works just fine. Number 9, they cook very well. Did you get all of them right? Okay, I want you to notice something here. We've added s to some verbs, but to the verb go, we didn't just add s, we added es. And to fly, we took out the y and added ies. Why did we do that? Well, it's because there are some important spelling rules for adding s to a verb. Let's talk about those now. To most verbs, we just add s. So verbs like love, run, work, speak, want, etc. just take an s at the end. To some verbs, we add es. Verbs like pass, wish, search, fix, go, and do. But why is that? Can you guess the rule? If you want, stop the video, look at the verbs, think about it, then play the video again and check. Here's the rule. if a verb ends in s, sh, ch, or x, then we add es to the verb. If you think about it, these sounds are all related. S, sh, ch, x. They all sound similar, and it's easier to pronounce them if you add es. Passes, wishes, searches, fixes, and so on. Also, if a verb ends in o and has a consonant before it like g or d, then we add es. Don't worry so much about this rule. Just remember to put es in goes and does. With verbs ending in y, we just add s to some verbs like buy, play, or enjoy. But with other verbs like try and fly and study, we remove the y and we add ies. Why do we do that? Can you guess the rule? Well, if you look at the verbs buy, play, and enjoy, you see that they end in a vowel plus y. A vowel is one of these letters, A, E, I, O, and U. These verbs just take an S after them, so we have buys, plays, and enjoys. What about the next set of verbs? Here, you see that they end in a consonant like R, L, or D plus Y. Any letter that's not a vowel is a consonant. In English, there are 26 letters, 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and 21 consonants. Finally, there are some spellings we call irregular because there are no rules for them. The verbs have and be are the most common ones. Have just becomes has, which is just H-A-S, and the verb be has 3 forms, am, is, and are. We'll talk about the verb be later in this lesson. Okay, now you know how to make positive sentences and when to add s to a verb using the correct spelling. So let's move on to making negative sentences in the present simple tense. To talk about making negative sentences, you need to know a little secret about the English language. This is important for making negative sentences in any tense, not just the present simple. The secret is that most English sentences have 2 verbs, a main verb and a helping verb. Let's take one of our original examples. I play chess once a week. Now you might be saying, I only see one verb, play. Well, the verb play is the main verb in this sentence. So where's the helping verb? In the present simple tense, the helping verb is often hiding. It's the verb do. Normally, when we speak, we don't say it, but it's still there. Now, different tenses have different helping verbs, but remember that for the present simple tense, the helping verb is do. Okay, why is this important? It's important because to make negative sentences, you need to bring the helping verb out of its hiding place. That's the first step. The second step is to add the negative word not. So, I do not play chess once a week. When we speak, this might sound very mechanical, like a robot. I do not play chess. To sound more natural, we usually shorten do not to don't. So, I don't play chess once a week. In this sentence, the subject is I. Here's the form table for present simple tense sentences. I want you to fill in the correct negative form for all the other subjects. If you're not sure, just take a guess. Stop the video if you want, think about it, then play the video again and check. Alright, the subjects I, you, we, they, and all plurals are straightforward. You just put do not or don't in front of the verb. I don't play chess, you don't play chess, my friends don't play chess, etc. But for he, she, it, or any singular noun, remember you must add s to the verb. But where do you add the s? Well, you add it to the helping verb do. So for these subjects, does not, shortened to doesn't, is used to make the negative. He doesn't play chess, she doesn't play chess, Susie doesn't play chess, etc. Pay attention to the pronunciation of that. It's pronounced doesn't. There's a z sound there. It's not an s sound, so doesn't. Here's a quick exercise. You see 9 sentences on the screen. These are the same sentences from the first exercise, but here I've made them negative. Now, some of these sentences are correct and some are wrong. If a sentence is wrong, I want you to change it to the correct form. Stop the video now if you want. Think about your answers, then play the video again and check. Alright, the form table is on the screen now, and let's look at the answers. Number 1 is wrong. It should be, he doesn't read a lot of books. This is a very common mistake. In negative sentences in the present simple tense, you should only add s to the helping verb, and you have doesn't. Don't add s again to the main verb. Number 2 is correct. We have a plural subject. Many children don't play baseball. Number 3 is wrong. For you, the correct negative form is don't. So you don't like tomato soup. Number 4 is also wrong. That bird is a singular noun, so we need doesn't here. That bird doesn't fly fast. Number 5 is correct. I don't teach English. Number 6 is wrong. You need don't again because the subject is we. So we don't live together. Number 7 is wrong as well. And this is another common type of error. The s is added here. That's good, but it's added to the main verb, go. It should be added to the helping verb, not the main verb. So she doesn't go to college. Number 8 is correct. It doesn't work. Finally, number 9 is wrong. For they, you need don't. So they don't cook very well. All right, let's now move on to the final topic in this lesson, and that is the special case of the verb be. Why is the verb be a special case? Well, it's different from other verbs in 2 ways. First, it's irregular. What does that mean? Well, if you remember, we learned that the verb work has 2 present simple tense forms. You use work with I, you, we, they, and plural subjects, and you use works with he, she, it, and singular subjects. All verbs are like this. They have 2 present simple forms, except for the verb be. This verb has 3 forms, am, is, and are. If the subject is I, we use am. For example, I am a teacher. In speech, we normally shorten this to I'm a teacher. If the subject is he, she, it, or any singular noun, then we use is. He is, she is, or he's and she's. Jamila is a teacher, or you could say Jamila is a teacher. If the subject is you, we, they, or any plural noun, then we use are. So your, we're, and their. Notice that when we have plural nouns like Charles and Julie, we don't shorten the verb. That is, we say are fully. Charles and Julie are teachers. We only shorten pronouns and singular nouns. So that's the first difference between be and other verbs. There are 3 forms, am, is, and are. The second difference is that the verb be is very strong. What I mean by that is when be is the main verb in a sentence, then it needs no helping verb. Remember, to make I work negative, we say I don't work. So work is the main verb and do is the helping verb. But be does not need a helping verb. And this is important because when you want to make a negative sentence, you add not right after be. You can see this now. I'm not, he's not, she's not, you're not, we're not, and so on. Sometimes you will see the forms isn't and aren't. This is especially true with plural nouns. This is also correct. All right, keep these rules in mind when making sentences with be. Let's now do a quick recap of this lesson. We started with making positive or affirmative statements. We discussed rules for adding s to the verb in a sentence. We then looked at spelling rules for adding the s. You see the chart on the screen now. Then we moved on to making negative sentences. Remember to pull the helping verb do out of its hiding place, put it before the main verb, and add not to it. Finally, we learned the 2 important ways in which the verb be is different. First, it has 3 forms, am, is, and are. And second, it has no helping verb. So to make negative sentences, you put not right after it. All right, it's now time for the test to see if you can make present simple tense sentences correctly. On the screen, there are 10 sentences. In each sentence, you see the verb in parentheses or round brackets. Fill in the gaps with the correct form of the verb. If you see a plus sign, use a positive form, and if you see a minus sign, use a negative form. In sentences 9 and 10, there are 2 signs because there are 2 verbs. Stop the video now if you want. Think about your answers, then play the video again and check. All right, let's look at the answers. Number 1 is she studies computer science. Note the spelling. Studies is spelled without Y and with IES. Number 2, Krishna is a fantastic singer because Krishna is a singular noun. Number 3, we usually don't eat dinner so early. You can also say we don't usually eat dinner so early. That's also okay. Number 4 is I hate loud music. Number 5, Elsa and Kurt don't live in Las Vegas anymore. Be careful when there are 2 nouns like this in a sentence. Some people make the mistake of saying doesn't because they're thinking about Elsa and Kurt as singular nouns. But because they're 2 people, they're a plural subject. So don't is correct. Number 6, he's not very friendly or he isn't very friendly. Both are okay. Number 7 should be my daughter misses me when I'm away. Misses is spelled with ES, remember. Number 8, you wake up at 6 a.m. every day, don't you? In number 9, there are 2 gaps. She says she doesn't remember me. It's a common mistake to say she say. Don't make that mistake. It's he says, she says. And finally, in number 10, again, 2 gaps. Those aren't spoons, they're forks. How many answers did you get right? Let me know in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and I will see you in the next lesson.